The following is a presentation of Channel 3 Sports.
The road to any championship is long and it is hard. For the 1991 10-Pin Challenge finalists, that road has been no different. Today, the high-scoring team of Peggy Malinowski and Pat Switzler lines up against Pat Conaway and Bill Fiedler, a team that has lived on the edge of elimination their entire trip to this final and deciding match. Stay tuned for the 1991 10-Pin Challenge Championship Finals next here on Channel 3. From the Palisades Palace in Wickliffe, welcome to the championship finals of the 1991 10-Pin Challenge here on Channel 3. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Donovan, and welcome to 10-Pin Challenge on what is a very, very special day. Today's the day we've been building towards each and every Saturday afternoon that you've been joining us. We've been pointing towards this Saturday afternoon, the championship final. Our winners today get crowned the 1991 10-Pin Challenge champions, and we send them off to Hawaii as part of our grand prize package, too. And we feel we've got two great teams to send into the finals here this afternoon. To help me call all the action, Ted Malicki.
Thank you, Jimmy, and what a great match we have for today.
You know, it really is. Pat Conaway and Bill Fiedler take on Peggy Malinowski and Pat Switzler, and I think as we watch these two teams progress through the tournament, you could see that they were teams that could qualify for the final.
That's right. We have a very deserving finalist here. We have a 14-pin difference between Malinowski and Switzler and Conway and Fiedler, but I don't really think that's going to come into play. I think the team that jumps out into the lead will have the advantage.
It takes a lot of wins to make it this far in the 10-Pin Challenge. Let's travel the tournament trail with these two teams and see how they made it this far. In the championship finals of 10-Pin Challenge, for the first time, it's the team of Peggy Malinowski and Pat Switzler. When not on the lanes practicing for this year's tournament, Peggy is busy planning her upcoming marriage to Pat, and also works as a teller and secretary at a local bank. Fiancé Pat works at a local manufacturer where he operates various machines that produce flexible metal hose. Malinowski and Switzler have advanced to this year's 10-Pin Challenge Championship Final based on 4 outstanding performances. In the first round, they defeated Barbara Rose and Mike Bobenchek 235 to 167. Then in round 2, they handed Ruby Davis and Reno Gillette a hard-fought 221 to 178 defeat. In the quarterfinals, Malinowski and Switzler had their toughest match of the tournament so far, but they hung on to defeat Betty Palicka and Cleve Johnson by 2 pins, 227 to 225. Then in their semifinal match 2 weeks ago, Peggy and Pat had to overcome a large handicap deficit to defeat Jennifer Newman and Mark Powers 204 to 181 to propel them into today's championship finals. Malinowski and Switzler's opponent is the team of Pat Conaway and Bill Fiedler. Back for her 3rd year on 10-Pin Challenge, Pat Conaway is the mother of 2 and works for the Solon school system as a bus driver, where she's driven for 4 years, making 3 runs every school day. Partner Bill Fiedler also works for Solon Schools, where he stays busy maintaining the system's buses. He also drives a bus route taking children to and from school every day. Conaway and Fiedler's trip to today's finals has not been easy, dodging bullets almost every step of the way. In their first round appearance, they edged Kim Fath and Steve Krupa 192 to 188. Then in round 2, in a match that was a real struggle for both teams, Pat and Bill defeated Terry and Chuck Stastny 144 to 130. In the quarterfinals, Shirley and John Ingham proved to be very tough opponents. However, Conaway and Fiedler hung on to win 222 to 213. And in last week's semifinals, again they had to come from behind to defeat Lucy and Ken Starkey 210 to 191, earning a spot in the 1991 10-Pin Challenge Championship Finals. Ted and I are all set to call the championship final here on 10-Pin Challenge. We'll get it underway right after this.
10-Pin Challenge is sponsored in part by Thistledown, racing Wednesday through Sunday, first race 1:30 p.m., and by Speedy Muffler King. Visit your local Speedy for all your undercar repair needs.
Chasing you, my lady luck. Won't you smile on me today? Lady luck. Yeah. Won't you lift
Muffler King knows that all customers really want is a top-quality repair, a good price, and a little respect. That's why Speedy gives you a guarantee on all three, including the respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, that's what Speedy means to me.
Many injured people ask us if they need a lawyer to handle their injury case. Not always, but don't forget that the insurance company lawyers and adjusters are very skilled. Remember, what's fair to the insurance company might not be fair to you.
I just wanna be close to you.
Want to get close to the hottest music, the biggest stars, and the freshest new acts in the country? Then don't miss the next big break. Kick It with host Natalie Cole and her special guest, Maxie Priest, as they get busy with the stars of tomorrow, jamming for $100,000 and their big break.
Tonight at 1 a.m. on Channel 3.
Kermit, why do people pollute our rivers and streams and waste water?
I don't know. Clean water is so important. I guess people just don't think enough about it. For some free tips on how you can use water wisely, write to Kermit, National Wildlife Federation, Washington, D.C. 20036.
Yeah.
All bowlers appearing on 10-Pin Challenge receive prizes from Speedy Muffler King. Come to Speedy for mufflers, brakes, or shocks and get the respect you deserve.
Let's set the matchup now for this year's 10-Pin Challenge Championship Final. Representing the Solon Bowling Center, the team of Pat Conaway and Bill Fiedler. They have a 22-pin handicap, a 4-game TV average of 192. And they face Peggy Malinowski and Pat Switzler. Representing the Wickliffe Lanes, they enter today's finals with a 36-pin handicap and a 4-game TV average of 222. Those are the teams. We've been watching them throughout the weeks, and they've all been wins.
Here we go. There's no tomorrow on this match.
They have fashioned them in different ways. Malinowski and Switzler have seemed to at times cruise. Fiedler and Conaway have always been coming from behind. This is Peggy Malinowski, 159 average bowler, to start us off on the championship final on 10-Pin Challenge.
Peggy Malinowski for the Brooklyn Strike, Jim, as she's done so often in the past, started with a strike, and boy, is that a great time to do it.
And now you're watching a team that gets off to a good start there as Malinowski and Pat Switzler now sits on Peggy's right, waiting for his first shot. And now a true 10-Pin Challenge veteran, her third year in the tournament. Her first year with Bill Fiedler as her partner, and her first year in the finals, Pat Conaway. Opens with a split.
Pat Conaway coming up a little bit high, and it really wasn't that bad a shot, leaving the 4-6-7 split. Now, this is not a possibility of making this split. He just wants to get the 2 pins.
All right, so Bill's a left-hander, a 184 bowling average. Went after it a little bit, but couldn't come up with the 6-pin, but got the count going for the 4 and 7. That was very un-Pat Conaway-like, I guess you could say. We're stretching it for a phrase there, but that she would throw a split like that.
A little bit nervous, maybe, throwing the ball a little bit slow, being a little too careful. That can be expected.
Good bowler, though. 1 frame past. And let's see what she does here. Puts it way out on the right.
That, Jimmy, that was an over-adjustment. She threw it way to the right to make sure she'd stay off the head pin, and she left the washout.
All right, Bill Fiedler. Chops out 2.
Too much of the head pin.
The 8 and 10 remained, and they're at 39 with 2 open frames to start the championship final. Now, Pat Switzler.
Pat Switzler, a chance right here of a lifetime to really, really put the hurt on Fiedler and Conway.
Pat's got a bowling average of 160. His partner, Peggy, a bowling average of 159. That evenness really tells the story of why they have been so good.
Oh, a good shot, leaving a solid 4-pin. Just coming up a little bit high, but leaving a 4-pin.
Now, in their semifinal victory, Peggy had some problems with 1-pin spare leaves late in the match.
That's right.
If you remember, they kind of left that other team hanging around a little bit and could have closed the door in their semifinal a lot earlier. Let's watch her take her time here, as you can see.
You don't want to do that.
4-pin. Missed it.
4-pin. She seemed to drop that ball, and she threw it awful slow, Jim. Awful slow.
So I think we're seeing some championship match nerves here early.
Oh.
Certainly by Conaway and Fiedler, and especially Pat Conaway, who has been so very, very consistent. And now Peggy Malinowski misses a 4-pin. And Malinowski and Switzler still with the early lead by 25 pins. Third frame. Here's Pat Switzler.
Pat Switzer crossing over to the Brooklyn, tripping out that 6-pin and the 10-pin for a strike. Back into the match. That's the best thing to do when you have an open, is to come back with a strike. This way you'll forget about it real quick.
Malinowski and Switzler. And now we swing back to Pat Conaway, who right now is looking to really get some championship legs under her, I think. She really just needs to pop off one good shot.
Just get out there and make a good shot. That's all she wants to do. She got a little high on the pocket there.
310 left.
Leaving the 310. Actually, Jimmy, for a left-handed bowler, this is a little easier spare than it would have been if Pat Conaway had to make it.
They are 25 pins down. Fiedler up, going after a 310. Oh, he got it. What
Great
a shot.
shot. Bill Fiedler's chance to come out and be a hero, and he certainly did. Keeping them in the match with a spare.
A great championship final here on 10 Pin Challenge. We'll be back with the conclusion right after this.
What you want, baby, we got it. What you need, you know we got it. All you really want is a little respect, just a little bit respect, just a little bit.
Speedy Muffler King knows that all customers really want is a top quality repair, a good price, and a little respect. That's why Speedy gives you a guarantee on all three, including the respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, that's what Speedy means to me.
Chasing you, my lady luck. Won't you smile on me today? Yeah. Won't you lift me up? The finish line's a shout away. Yeah. The fastest game in town is here at Thistledown. Chasing lady luck. Yeah.
The thrills continue on the next Lifestyle as love-struck Joan Collins reveals Mr. Wrong has been replaced by Mr. Right. Racing car champion Nicky Lauder escapes the flames of hell to a new life. Kadeem Hardison's real-life different world. Enter the weird wonderland of cult movie maker John Waters, if you dare. Plus Andy Williams on an all-star adventure in Hong Kong. All on the next Lifestyles, Champagne Wishes.
Tonight at 7 on Channel 3.
This is Mako's Ambassador Paint Service. Just $149. We professionally prepare your car. We chemically clean it, surface sand it, and give it a high-grade oven-baked enamel finish from over 7,000 colors. All backed in writing in over 400 centers coast to coast. Mako's Ambassador Paint Service. The best value for your money. Just $149. If you want high-quality work for this kind of price, you better get Mako.
Ted, I think early in the match we saw some nerves, particularly from Pat Conaway. She threw a couple of splits early.
We certainly did. They were very nervous talking to them earlier, and they're going to have to come a long way to catch up into this match. That was a good shot there, slapping out that 10-pin with the 6 for a strike. What a great move there.
So a strike in the fourth, and now Peggy Malinowski, fourth frame, working off a strike in the third by partner Pat Switzler. Her team up by 25 pins.
Another big opportunity to increase that to 35 pins with this strike. Peggy solid in the pocket, tripping the 4-pin for a strike. That's a double and 10 more pins added to their score.
They could really open it up here if Pat can connect, as Peggy, very, very quiet, and really even before the match, very quiet. No sign of nerves anyway outwardly, but this team has been just so solid all the way through the tournament with 4 victories getting here to the championship.
Pat Switzer throwing a strike last time on this lane goes a little bit high, leaving that ever popular 6-10 spare.
Now remember, when Peggy came up to shoot a spare early in the match, she missed the 4-pin. She goes after a 6-10 left by partner Pat Switzler.
That's right. She threw that 4-pin a little bit slow. She'll have to increase the speed on this. And she did. What a great shot for the spare.
A spare in the 5th to go along with strikes in the 3rd and 4th. Bill Fiedler will be up now as the team of Malinowski and Switzler sit and watch. And now this is Bill Fiedler working off a strike. They're in the 5th frame.
A big chance to get back in this match with a strike ball here.
This is his first strike ball of the match, his first opportunity to open up a frame.
Bill Fiedler throwing the ball good, goes down to his knees and knew he had a strike.
You're wondering where we are right now in regards to score difference? Well, Malinowski and Switzler have a very big lead here of some 33 pins.
33 pins with a double up. Now, Pat Conaway can cut that deficit by 10 more pins with this strike. She threw a strike on this lane the last time up.
They get off to a slow start, as has been their trait throughout the tournament.
She does get the solid Brooklyn for a strike. That's a 3-bagger, and she gained 10 more pins, making it a much closer match now.
23 pins the difference, as Ted says. 33 was the difference, then the strike, now down to 23 pins. Now, here's Pat Switzler. We are already into the 6th frame, working on a spare. Oh, he left it way out to the right.
Pat Switzler sort of lost that ball. His timing seemed to be all messed up on that, and the ball just never got back to the pocket.
So Peggy Malinowski works on her ball right there. Pat kind of drying his hand a little bit.
You can see there's a lot of pin count that comes into play. He only got 5 pins on that first ball. That may hurt them later in the game.
More importantly now, too, is to just make this spare.
What a tremendous shot by Peggy Malinowski to make that spare and keep them into this lead. Pat Switzler up on the left lane. He's going to take a little extra time. That last shot he didn't like at all. I think he may have dropped the ball or something, and it just wasn't a good shot.
7th frame, championship final here on 10-Pin Challenge from the Palisades Palace in Wickliffe.
Pat Switzler going high in a head pin, leaving the 3, 6, 10 pin spare. You know, Jimmy, whenever I bowled, this was always the toughest spare for me.
Same for me.
It was the same for you. Well, I guess all the good bowlers do have this as a tough spare. But Peggy Malinowski will move left to make this.
They're at 144 through 6.
She makes it on the outside.
Two clutch spares.
What a great shot there. They lost a little count, but they still stayed in the lead with that spare.
All right, now remember, Fiedler and Conaway are working on 3 strikes in a row, going for number 4. This is Bill Fiedler, 7th frame.
With this strike, they can take the lead, Jim. Important ball.
He threw a strike ball his last time up.
He threw it high in the head pin, leaving the 4, 6. No, he didn't like that.
Now, what does she do here, Ted?
She just picks up 1 and moves on to the next frame. Those pins are opposite of each other, and you really can't slide the pin over. The only way you can make this is get lucky and have the pin come out of the pit.
Oh, she almost pulled it off. A great try.
That was an excellent try.
They trail by 8.
3 frames left, the 8th, 9th, and 10th frame. Bill Fiedler up in the 8th frame on the left-hand lane.
So they have cut into the handicap difference, which was 14 coming into the match, favoring Malinowski and Switzler. The lead right now is 8 pins. And there's a huge strike.
There's the shot he wanted, but that sets up Pat Conaway in the next frame to throw a double and pick up on the lead.
This is Pat Switzler. Ready to come up right now. Switzler and Malinowski, both from Euclid. Pat's 27 years old.
Pat Switzler going high in the head pin, breaking up the 3-10 split with only the 3 pin standing.
Peggy Malinowski came up with two very clutch spares.
She made
in the
that
6th and 7th.
She made that one error earlier, and she's been concentrating ever since and making all the spares that are left. As she did there, what a great cover.
The lead right now is back up to 18 pins.
18 pins with
for Malinowski and Switzler.
2 frames to go. Anything can still happen. This game is not over. Pat Switzler up on the left lane. Pat throwing a great shot there. That could have been his best shot of the match, but he left the 10 pin.
For a while there, Ted, I didn't think the 7 was going to go down, and then he might have a bad split.
That would have been a real bad break.
But the 7 finally did get kicked down. 10 pin stands.
Very tough pin.
They're at 182, 10 through 8, 9th frame. She must pick up the 10 pin in the right corner. Oh, she missed it.
Just missed the 10 pin.
Missed it.
That opens the door for Conway and Fiedler into 10th frame. Now, Pat Conway coming up on the right lane here is working on a strike.
9th frame. Pat Conway studying everything, making sure she takes her time. Partner Bill Fiedler behind her. Just waiting to see what they have to do number-wise.
They have a chance to get in the lead by a matter of pins if she could throw this strike. Then she throws a solid Brooklyn strike, Jimmy, that puts them in the lead. A matter of count makes the difference.
They have the possibility, Conway and Fiedler, of a 235 game. Malinowski and Switzler have the possibility of a 221. That's what those strikes in the 8th and 9th did, and that open frame in the 9th for Malinowski and Switzler.
Well, here we go, down to the championship game, down to the last frame. This is the way it should be.
Bill Fiedler, 10th frame, going for 3 in a row.
Bill Fiedler gets down on his knees. He knew he threw it good.
Pat Conaway's children there sitting down there. She has 2 sons, Eric and Brian. Watching now as their mom comes up in the 10th frame, looking for their 4th strike in a row they came up with. Really strike thunder late.
Here's the situation. 9 will do it.
She ended up with 7.
To get the bad count. Now, it's very important that Bill Fiedler gets those 2 pins. If he gets those 2 pins, that gives them 221. And it can be a tie game. That means that Malinowski and Switzler would have to strike out the tie.
He got the 2 pins.
This is a big test. A tough test to ask from anybody.
Conaway and Fiedler end at 221. Or do they end? Or will we go extra frames? We would have a 2-frame roll-off with a tie. They must strike out, Malinowski and Switzler, to send it to a roll-off.
Into overtime.
All right, Pat Switzler. Nothing but strikes, or it's all over.
Pat Switzler solid in the pocket for a strike, tripping that 4-pin straight back. We still have life. Peggy Malinowski has to do the same.
Once again, Conaway and Fiedler have a 221. The best Malinowski and Switzler could do, a 221 if they continue to strike. That's it.
Peggy
Didn't get it
Malinowski.
done.
High
The
in the head.
610 is left.
That's what we've been seeing this whole tournament was the 610, and it came up and bit them.
So Conaway and Fiedler.
They're off to Hawaii.
But what a great team this was. Malinowski and Switzler. Here's Pat Switzler on the 610. Got it.
Great job. Good cover. What a tremendous match.
Our champions, Pat Conaway and Bill Fiedler. They win over Peggy Malinowski and Pat Switzler, 221 to 211. Pat Conaway, 3 years on 10-pin challenge, but with a new partner this year, Bill Fiedler, they win it all. There's the family watching. Pat's husband, Ed, her children, Eric and Brian. Bill's wife, June, is here, and Bill's mom, May.